Hey, what's up, everybody? Yeah, I kind of wanted to do a little video about this. So we got a little bit of news today, and obviously people are going to shuffle in and kind of, maybe hear about this for the first time. So if you guys didn't know, okay, Crackdown 3. I've been a big defender of Crackdown 3. I'm still excited to play through the Crackdown 3. I think the single player and stuff looks fine. It looks really good. I'm drawing comparisons to, Sunset Overdrive in terms of how the world looks and things like that. Maybe a little bit slightly different stylized, but at the same time, there is also the fact that this just came out that Crackdown 3 won't allow you to play with friends in the multiplayer. Now, this is a problem, right? So here's the thing. I was talking to Mooch about this morning, right? And as you guys know, and no offense to Mooch, because me and Mooch are good friends, and we'll probably talk about this Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, right? He's not a Crackdown fan. I am. With that being said, he's right in one aspect that without a way to team up with your friends, right? Without a way to team up with your friends for this game, for the multiplayer anyway, the multiplayer is as good as dead, right? We can just come out and kind of cut the BS. The multiplayer is absolutely, completely DOA. I get that it's fun. I get that it's pushing boundaries. I think that's cool. I think that's great. I think that a game that's doing 5v5 multiplayer with no way to team up with your friends or invite your friends to the game is a very big slap in the face. You are Microsoft, right? You are 100% Microsoft. You live on multiplayer games, right? That's your bread and butter. This would be like if Sony were to come out with a single player game and, and it completely stinks, like worse than The Order. Like they come out with a 2-hour game. Like, you know what? Single player games are Sony's bread and butter, right? We all know it. Now, we have Microsoft, who obviously they charge us to play the multiplayer, and I get that the single player portion of this and the multiplayer portion are sort of two different things. They're two different downloads, but you had 5 years to do this. You've already stripped away a lot of what was already promised and a lot of what was shown previously, right? Like we were going to get 4-player co-op on the single player. That was stripped back to 2-player. Now we get, smaller versions of, smaller versions of the larger map that was shown off originally. And, it's very disappointed. And I know what a lot of here's the thing. I'm an Xbox guy. I defend this game. I think the game looks good, right? I think that you're going to get a lot of people hating on the game for other reasons. This just gives them a reason to hate a little bit further. And Microsoft sort of does this for themselves. And people wonder why I criticize Microsoft a little bit, even though I'm such a big fan, because they do this stuff to themselves repeatedly, right? Let's just be real. They do. They keep doing this kind of stuff to themselves. It's a very, very piss poor way to kind of go about things. The sad part is, it's a lobby, right? It's a lobby. This is Microsoft. Supposedly they threw a bunch of more money at this. Did somebody at Microsoft, did Phil Spencer, Matt Booty, they're hiring all these people. At what point did these bigwigs not come out and go, you know what? We're Xbox Live. We should possibly allow people to, I don't know, invite their friends to play together? That's a freaking crazy idea, right? What a crazy thought for Xbox Live. This is not Nintendo Network, right? This isn't amateur hour, folks. Would Microsoft even allow a multiplayer game on their network that didn't allow such a basic feature as a lobby? You have indie games that can go out there and do a lobby, right? So here's the thing. I think that the cloud destruction is cool, right? Groundbreaking. This was never going to be a Call of Duty. Like, I've got my defense lined up for other reasons why this game is good, right? But when it comes to this lobby situation, there's no defense. It's indefensible, even for a guy like me, okay? I was not expecting this to be a Call of Duty multiplayer. It's an arcade, goofy, lock-on, destructive, just kind of fun multiplayer. With that being said, how long is this multiplayer going to last? It won't even last to the first update. Think about it. One of my big complaints about Titanfall 2 was the fact that the lobby system was so broken where you had to see somebody's clan match. If you wanted to join your friends, you had to see somebody's clan tag and then hit yes that you want to accept their game invite, right? It was totally ridiculous. And I hear they might have fixed that by now, but who stuck around long enough to really figure that out? with Microsoft. And yes, I'm animated about this because this is very much dropping the ball. How do you do this? And you wonder why this game is going to score piss poor, and it's going to be another black mark on Game Pass in terms of just rushing games out, just getting games out. I realized that, what are the other options, right? Is there any other option? I don't know. Cancel the game? You can't really do that because you've canceled a ton of other games, and this one was already so invested, and you had more money, and you did throw more money at it. And, from what I'm hearing, the multiplayer is fun, but what am I going to do? Hey, Mooch, hey, Grave, hey, Hellhammer, hey, whoever else, hey, Xbot, let's go play some Wrecking Zone. Well, guess what? We can't play together. That's for sure. We just got to play with a bunch of random people. Like, that to me is unacceptable. Very, very much unacceptable. If you guys are just joining me, please hit that like button, share it out, things like that. I see the Don's in here as well. Yeah. Did you guys not know? It's 100%. You cannot play multiplayer with your friends. They don't allow it. So please hit that like button, share it out. Again, I'm going to go over this quite a few times, and I'm sort of pissed off about this. So Crackdown 3 won't allow you to play with friends in Wrecking Zone multiplayer. It won't support friend parties in the multiplayer. It so pisses me off so bad. I did link this article so you guys can check that as well. So thanks to Windows Central for running this. Their in-house Xbox exclusive Crackdown 3 headed to Xbox One February 15th, which is 4 days from now. Obviously a lengthy development tied to its ambitious cloud-backed action-adventure gameplay. The highlight of Crackdown 3 is the Wrecking Zone, hosting 5 versus 5 multiplayer battles with physics backed by Microsoft's cloud technology. However, new details have surfaced via the game's Discord. So again, here's another thing. Why is this just now, 4 days from launch, coming out via the Discord? Like, how many people maybe would have bought this game expecting to line up and be able to play with your friends and just been confused, right? So you had to be part of the official Discord, and now it's a cause of concern. This was spotted on Crackdown 3's Discord channel. The account has provided insight into the multiplayer with players unable to play with friends during its pre-release test. It has confirmed Crackdown 3 will also not support friend parties at launch. So they're doing the Crackdown stress test right now. And what we're seeing is that people aren't allowed to play with their friends. You can't invite your friends. Obviously, people want to play with your friends. It's the whole idea of playing Xbox Live with your damn friends, right? Crazy. I know. It's absolutely crazy that you want to play games with your friends. So with that being said, they won't let you play with your friends. So no, Wrecking Zone does not support parties and will not at launch. Microsoft later said that it has no information on when or if parties will even be implemented. So yeah, they don't have a clue whether they're going to be there at some point. I can tell you this much, given the limited maps, I think this game has 3 maps and no way to play with your friends. Yeah, that's not going to last very long. So what now was going to be a big selling point of Crackdown 3 basically leads us to one of the worst parts about Crackdown 3. This feels totally tacked on. I don't know if you guys played that multiplayer in Tomb Raider, the reboot in 2013. Tacked on, completely made by a different studio. Horrible. That's what this is starting to remind me of, right? Something that I was very, very excited for, and a lot of people were very excited for, has now gone on to completely let everybody down. And listen, I see Salty in there. I see a lot of people hating on some of the Crackdown things. Here's the thing. If you want to enjoy the single player, I think that looks fine. The multiplayer, absolutely, they have dropped the ball. Xbox Live, folks. It's built around playing with your friends. So parties are not supported. They may not ever be supported. Obviously, it's heavily dependent on the multiplayer. Boom, we have 5v5. The whole place is destructible. Hey, best friend, let's go in there and play some games together. Well, guess what? We can't. We got to play with random people because Microsoft, the people that bring you Halo, Gears of War, and all these other games where you have simple lobby systems, we've had this since 2002 when Xbox Live launched. Well, guess what? In this highly ambitious game that took 5 years to make, guess what we forgot to include? A freaking lobby system. So, yeah, it's a common multiplayer feature for Xbox One titles. And how much confusion is this going to be, right? So you guys have to remember this. Not everybody that has an Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo Switch or PC or, you know what I mean, is active on these online communities. They're not active on YouTube. They might not be active on social media. They might not go to places like IGN or Windows Central or wherever. So they might want to play Crackdown with their friends and not realize that, hey, guess what? The multiplayer totally screws you out of that ability. And I get that people might be upset at me because I'm bringing this up, but it is a slap in the face to the fans. I'm sorry. It 100% is. We cannot play with our friends. Are you kidding me? Like, me and Mooch are supposed to stream this game Friday night, and you can't even play together. You know what I mean? Like, that is a big problem. Who the hell knows? I don't even know. So it's going to cause a lot of confusion and frustration. In the meantime, you'll have to seemingly rely on the game's randomized matchmaking or two-player campaign. So it's totally randomized. And also Joseph Staten, who is the Microsoft Studios senior creative director, came out and confirmed the lack of friend support at launch, recommending players to quote-unquote stay tuned for post-launch plans. So, wow. Let's stay tuned for post-launch plans where we get the rest of this game, right? Like, to me, that's completely unacceptable. So, like, I get it, right? Like, a lot of people are going to say Crackdown 3 is trash, blah, blah, blah. I get that. I do. People are going to always hate on Xbox games because they're Xbox games. And I hesitate doing negative sort of videos when it comes to Xbox games. Why? Well, for the simple reason that this sort of thing happens a lot, right? I don't want to be one of those people that jumps on or piles on, but this is a time when I believe it is actually kind of needed. And the reason why it's needed is because Microsoft seems to drop the ball. This is one of those things where I'm like, they really spend too much damn time trying to do too much in this gaming world of ours, right? They want to do this, they want to do that, and it's too much too soon. Focus on what you can do first. So what should have been a fantastic day for them, right? Launching this amazing multiplayer tech that's never been done before. Now it's kind of turned into a huge joke, and Microsoft literally has nobody to blame but themselves. And that's a real shame because this should have been a tech showpiece. So you want us to believe in this future of cloud. You want us to believe in this cloud destruction and how great the power of the cloud is, and just trust you guys, hang with you guys for, you'll get it out there, you'll make it right. And then you come out there and you launch a game that you can't even play with your friends. To be honest with you, as much as I'm looking forward to playing the actual multiplayer, I am totally bummed to the point where I might not even play the multiplayer. And by the time they implement the ability to play with your friends, who's going to even bother at that point, right? Like, you're talking, it could be weeks from now, could be months from now. I don't know, but I do know that we're not going to see a ton of people playing it when it does finally come out with a way to do that. So it is a huge bummer. I am very much disappointed with what's doing that. I just don't get it. I do not understand. It is an unfinished game, right? An unfinished game. The game was always going to flop. The reason why the game was going to flop, quite simply, was the fact that this game does not, was that it was under such scrutiny to begin with and had such a long development time. So Microsoft overlooked the multiplayer parties in Crackdown 3 when obviously we wonder why they didn't advertise this game, right? Well, guess what, folks? We know why. We know why. No multiplayer parties. Interesting. There are speculation in this Windows Central article that latency issues may sprout with cloud-backed physics over distance, limiting players geographically as a result. Alternatively, this could be a simple oversight. So if there's some kind of limitation to the cloud part, I think, don't we deserve to know that as well? So for me personally, I think that that's a real bummer. I think that it's something that, should have been worked out. We should have been told, at least very early on, right? This is something that this is really disappointing as a fan, as someone who's been looking forward to this game, as someone who's actually, defended the game, sort of tried to tell people, hey, don't worry, this is going to be it's going to be a fun game. It's going to do this. It's going to do that, and I think the single player might achieve some of what Microsoft wants. But the fact that you have Microsoft realistically drop the ball this bad, I can't believe that. You know what I mean? Like, Xbox Live is their thing. They have people in charge of Xbox Live. What are these people doing that work there, right? Like that would be probably my biggest complaint. Like what do they do? You know, these people that are working at Microsoft Game Studios, right? Like you have quality people, right? You have people, you have Phil Spencer, you have Matt Booty, who is the head of Microsoft or Xbox Game Studios, excuse me. I didn't mean to mess that up. And now we're at such a situation where one of their biggest games, one of their only exclusives of this year, one of the ones that's, you know, a lot of people are looking forward to. I know a lot of people were just going to Game Pass it simply due to the fact that this game itself was caught in development hell for so long. And now we see that a staple in Xbox games, in Xbox Live, folks. This isn't something stupid, right? This isn't something that, you know, shouldn't be in there. This is something that should be basically in every multiplayer game. Any multiplayer game that has, you know, multiplayer should offer some sort of a lobby system. And that is what just baffles my mind. And really, this is what sort of like I did a video the other day about how Microsoft stopped caring about loyal Xbox One console gamers. I don't know. Maybe if this game were just console only, maybe it would have had you know, servers and lobbies. What do you think? I mean, it seems to me like some of these games that got delayed or even canceled over the years, the fact that they had to be on PC as well with crossplay and all this kind of crap implemented into it was sort of a issue. And so now we're starting to see that not only was it an issue, but Microsoft has really kind of dropped the ball with this game. And considering, let me ask you guys this, because I know like you guys are Xbox fans for the most part. I'm an Xbox fan. Let me ask you guys this. So Phil Spencer, his baby is Crackdown, right? He loves Crackdown, right? Crackdown's his baby. Okay. So for instance, right? Like for me personally, let's just say that, you know, I'm the head of Chevy. Chevy's my thing, right? Like, and I love Chevy Camaros. And I'm commissioning this new Chevy Camaro, right? It's great. It's going to be great. And this Camaro comes out and it sucks. It's a piece of crap. It's a garbage heap, right? It stinks. Well, what does that say about me, right? That's my baby. I love Camaros. I'm the one that commissioned this, right? So Phil Spencer commissions Crackdown 3. That's his baby. He was head of Microsoft Game Studios when this game went in development and then transitioned into head of Xbox, right? So you have Phil Spencer, head of Xbox, okay? And then you have his baby. He loves Crackdown. It's one of his favorite franchises, right? We all know that. He's gone on record as saying that. And he's head of Xbox. And he doesn't think it needs multiplayer lobbies? Honestly? Like, are you serious? I just do not understand it. I get that some people might like, don't be pissed at me because I'm upset that they forgot something as basic as multiplayer lobbies where you can play with your friends. That's not asking for too much, in my opinion. That's asking for what's right. You know, that's just trying to get what's right, in my opinion. And that's exactly what is right. Multiplayer lobbies. Everything does multiplayer lobbies. The fact that we aren't getting multiplayer lobbies really, really has just pissed me off to no end. And it almost, like Mooch always says, man, I never was. Because I think that honestly, even if the multiplayer comes 2 weeks later where you can invite your friends, right? How many people are still going to be around, right? There's so many different games coming out. We've got so many different things popping. And if you guys are just joining me, this is 100% legit, right? Crackdown 3 does not support matchmaking lobbies. You cannot invite your friends. There's no reason given. There's no 100% guarantee that that this is something that will come. And if it does, we don't know exactly when either. So very, very much sort of a really, really kind of pisses me off. You know what I mean? Like you've waited so long for this game. They've downgraded continually, right? Oh, here's this, here's that. You know, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Here's the multiplayer. Here's the single player. You're gonna play 4 players. It's great, 4-player co-op. You know, and then at the end of the day, what do we get? We get 2-player co-op. And while the campaign does look much improved, we get the multiplayer. that absolutely has been downgraded completely, completely ridiculously, right? Like absolutely ridiculous. And for me personally, while I think it's okay that that part of the game is going to work fine, how do you even review that, right? There's always going to be tough ways to sort of review this type of game because it has two separate things. So realistically, what was the options there? What could they have done? Like Mooch says, hey, maybe just release the single player, not the multiplayer. I'm like, well, the problem with that is you already promised that you were going to be able to do this this multiplayer with cloud destruction, right? And they and this is what they promised us, right? Hey, we got it. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to have this multiplayer destruction. It's going to be fantastic. You know, it's going to be beyond anything you've ever done. So they promised this stuff, right? Just absolutely sort of beyond words about what we've had, right? And so now we're stuck in this sort of situation where you know, we don't get what was promised, and we get even less than what you would expect with the most basic of games for Xbox Live. And I think that is a huge problem. And for me personally, that's a bummer. You know, I'm very disappointed in that. I think that you know, Microsoft has really sort of dropped the ball with this, and they deserve criticism with this, right? Like they completely deserve this. Just so everybody knows we're clear. I'm perfectly fine with the criticism over this particular issue, and the reason being is the fact that they allowed this to happen. They were the ones that said, hey, you know, we don't really care if you guys have, you know, if you guys have a lobby, if you guys can play with your friends. And that's what really sort of bums me out. So I know some people are going to like dislike the fact that I'm talking bad about it or whatever. So, you know, it's just one of those things that you do feel a little bit kind of a smack in the face over it, you know. Hey, Soundwave, I get it. Crackdown 3 will evolve over time. It will be a whole different game within 6 months. I get that, but it's not a game as a service, dude. This is a game that should be there all together at launch, right? Like, even if it was a game as a service, you have to believe that having something as simple as a lobby, really is their bad, right? Like it pisses people off, and understandably so, right? TLR9 says, why did they wait to tell everybody this? It pisses me off that they hid it until now. So they really did, you know, hide this. That's the point that pisses me off too. See, I get a lot of crap, right? A lot of people go, Crap Gamer's a fanboy, and I fully admit I prefer Xbox. I'm an Xbox fanboy. It's fine like that. I prefer them. I like I like online, believe it or not. So that's the funny part, right? I like Xbox games because they offer online multiplayer and replayability, and they're fun, and you can play with your friends. Well, guess what? They don't allow you to play with your friends in one of their biggest titles of the year. So that is something that pisses me off completely and utterly. And so that really ticks me off. Yeah, Microsoft has pulled a quantum break. That was something, right? Like, remember all the crap I got for that, like the quantum break stuff, right? Man, I really just was so pissed off about this. You know, people thought I was pissed off at Quantum Break because it was going to PC. Nope, don't care about that. The part that pissed me off was the part that really screws over the consumers, which is for years they told everybody that this game is exclusive to Xbox, and then literally 4 weeks before launch they go, nope, you can get it on PC too. And I had known PC gamers, right, that that bought an Xbox One for that game, and I felt like it was a real slap in the face then too. I do not get Microsoft sometimes. They do these type of things. I don't understand it. They try to do too much at the same time. You know, look, I bought the game too. I bought this game. How you can't even play with your friends? Like, I can tell people are going to get, you know, hey, don't be afraid to hit that like button just because I'm expressing my concern over a game. I'm not going to go start randomly trashing Xbox for stuff. Trust me, I'm still an Xbox guy. I can voice my concern over a game that I pre-ordered because 4 days before launch, I find out you're not going to be able to team up with your friends. So when I want to play this game with my friends in the multiplayer, I am screwed. I am completely screwed. I cannot play with my friends. They cannot play with me. We are screwed. We cannot play together. So you could team up with one friend, I guess, for the single player. Maybe it makes you randomly pick. I don't know. But the multiplayer, you absolutely, have to play with random people. So I don't know. Dude, I would play with Game Pass, but I don't have Game Pass anymore, and I'm not going to pay for it because I usually buy my games. Like, for me, that's not personally a huge issue, but I just, it just ticks me off to no end that Microsoft would do this. Like, they're Microsoft, right? Like, that's what boggles my mind. They're Microsoft. How could they do this? It's basic stuff, right? This is stuff that like Nintendo would do, right? Like, Nintendo would be ones to not allow you to play with your friends, like in a lobby, right? That's that's basically as much as I can think of when it comes to this, right? Um, you know, I do not understand how this is something that uh that's going on still, to be honest with you. It blows my mind. It's absolutely unacceptable. I'm a fan, but at the same time, you know, I am pissed off. And yeah, people can go, I think that as a fan, we have our rights to express our concern. And I can tell you right now, there's going to be a hell of a discussion when it comes to this and podcasts and stuff like that, because I didn't want. Here's my problem, right? Everybody and their mother is going to want to do a video about this, and they will. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to the YouTube goings and comings and things like that. I've been very busy lately, as you guys know, and I'm just keeping it real with you guys. I don't have a time to check out a lot of people's stuff, so I don't really know what's going on, what they're talking about. So hold on. Field Pyromancer, thank you for the 10. Gotham guy says, that Mooch is going to have a field day with this news come Wednesday, right? I know, but he deserves to, right? He really does. It makes it and never was. So everybody's going to want to cover this. And I knew everybody was going to talk about Crackdown 3. And the problem was, I knew that people were going to talk about Crackdown 3 that didn't even want to play Crackdown 3. But because there's no other news, there's no news from Sony. You know what I mean? They're not doing anything. They're not really in the news anymore. They're not doing much. So because of that, I feel like people are going to pile on with this news and hate on this game. They were going to do it anyway, even without this. But now Microsoft gives them a legit in, and it is a legit in. Trust me, the fact that you cannot team up with your friends on Xbox Live on a first-party exclusive that Microsoft owns, not only that, they said this is going to be a pillar of our exclusive. It's going to be, we want it to be as big as Gears of War and Halo and Forza. How can it be as big as those games when those games have simple lobby systems, right? Hey, let me invite my friend. Boop, boop, invite. Good, thank you. Let's play together. That's how it works. Play together, jump in. We pay for Xbox Live, and yet we have no server system that lets you play together on this game. I do not understand it. A lot of people, maybe you're hearing this for the first time. If you're hearing it for the first time, yes, Crackdown 3 will not let you play with your friends. You absolutely cannot play with your friends in terms of being able to join parties and things like that. So there is no party system. There might be one later on. The only thing that Microsoft would respond with was, quote unquote, stay tuned. Yes, no joke. There's absolutely no joke there. That's the joke. So not day one. Stay tuned for updates on plans post-launch. If you want to play with people you actually know, you're restricted to Crackdown 3's co-op campaign. Nobody knows why this is happening. Again, there's a lot of speculation on the cloud being sort of an issue. But this is something that really is a bad look for Microsoft. Not only that, but if it is cloud dependent, right? Think about this. If it is cloud dependent, then what's that say for Microsoft future that they keep talking about, right? Oh, we want all this future. We want all this stuff. We want cloud. We want streaming, but we can't get it to work. Like, they've had 5+ years to work with this. I don't know how many studios worked on it, to be honest with you. I have no idea. Um, you know, who knows? There's so much secrecy revolving around this game. I don't know, but what I do know is that absolutely pisses me off that we've had this game sort of just evaporate what was promised. You know, man, I just I can't believe how disappointed I am. When I heard this, I was like, man, maybe I'll do a quick video about it. And then I thought, you know what? A quick video would never even do what express how I'm feeling about it. You know what I mean? So I get that there are people that are going to like the multiplayer, and I get that, right? And you're perfectly entitled to do that. I just think that the fact that what they're doing with this, where they don't actually have, you know, lobbies, is very disappointing. Like that's a me thing, I guess, and so you know that's just how I sort of feel about it. You know, I am quite disappointed with what they've actually kind of you know allowed or whatever. You know, this is completely on them, and it does bum me out. But at the same time, you know, I'm not going to let it bother me with other stuff down the road. There's so many games coming out. That's the funny part. Like, there's a lot of games coming out, and you know, with that happening, I think that that just really means that Crackdown 3 will die all the faster. Particularly the multiplayer. I just do not see the multiplayer doing much in terms of what they're able to sort of accomplish and things like that. So I really do wish that Microsoft would have at least told us as fans, as gamers, that hey, you're not going to be able to play with your friends. We're sorry about that, but hey, we're screwing you over. You know, it's really disheartening, and it's not like I'm blatantly hating on the game, because if anybody follows my channel or listens to any podcast that I'm in, I you know, I'm very honest about my feelings towards Crackdown 3. I'm a fan of the series. I think Crackdown 3, the single player, looks fantastic. It looks much better than what we had seen previously. So it's upsetting when you see something like this and it comes out and you're not able to actually you know, do basic things like invite your friends to play. So I'm curious, like those of you that may be upset that I am doing a video about this, and how it upsets me as a gamer and a fan, and how I feel a little bit kind of slapped in the face by Microsoft. Um, you know, how do you guys feel about it? You know what I mean? Are you guys mad that I'm doing a video about it? You know, I notice I know there's going to be some dislikes. I know it probably throws some people in a little bit of a loop, right? Like the people that usually just come to dislike a video because they think it's a positive Xbox video. Like, do you dislike the video? Do you like the video? Are you know what I'm saying? Like, it probably puts you in a weird spot because I'm talking bad about this exclusive that I'm looking forward to and have defended for a long time. And now there's this bit of like BS where Microsoft kind of lied to us. And, you know, just now we kind of know why they don't do any kind of advertising for it, right? Like they just want to get this game out. I'm sure they don't actually don't even care that you know, that people are pissed off about it. So, like, I guess you can, if you want to play it, right? That's fine. You know, like I said, I already have it preloaded, so I'm gonna give it a try. I don't know how much in the multiplayer I'm gonna play, because just like with most multiplayers, even the funnest multiplayer games, right? No matter what it is, I don't like to play those games by myself. So without being able to play with your friends, that takes away a large portion of what makes these games fun and entertaining for me personally. So that's pretty much like how I feel about it. You know, like Sea of Thieves, I know some people don't like it or they think it's bare bones or whatever. But for me personally, it's one of those things where, you know, I just really, really, um, you know, it just really pisses me off because Microsoft obviously are allowing this to happen. And I think that's the point that sort of pisses me off to no end. Like, why hide this for so long? Like, literally, this game comes out in 4 days, and we have not seen a single mention that you can't team up with your friends in the multiplayer. It's like, you know, should we start asking, like, right? Like, should we ask the coalition, hey, are we going to be able to have lobbies for Gears 5? They're probably going to look at you like you're stupid because, of course, the most basic thing in the world is lobbies, right? Like, how do you not have a lobby for your game? Oh my God, this pisses me off to no end because I was looking forward to jumping in there, playing with, who, Xbot, whoever, Mooch. We were going to play some games. It was going to be fun. And now it's like, we don't even get to experience that. And that's very disappointing to me. I'm very bummed out about it. I really do think that it's really on Microsoft, right? Like people want to know, hey, why is Microsoft so distrusted? Why do people dislike some of what Microsoft does? This is one of those things, right? Why people distrust Microsoft and don't like Microsoft, right? It's one of those things, and this is something they deserve the heat on this, right? Like, how do you do this? How do you release another game that's basically unfinished, right? Think about this. So they launched Sea of Thieves, which obviously games as a service that's unfinished. Even if you give that a pass, right? You can give that a pass, but it still was low rated and was lacking content. So they rushed that. They put it out in the Game Pass. Okay, right? Okay, it grew and it does over the next year as a game as a service has improved greatly. It's a solid game. State of Decay 2. Put that out. A lot of scrutiny, a lot of promises made. Oh, you're going to be able to do co-op. The problem is you can't further your story if you're helping your friends in their game. They can't further their story. There is no story per se, right? It's like these random just events that happens because they try to do this game as a service thing. You're tethered because there's no servers. Microsoft owns this IP. They own the studio, yet you cannot play this game like you would play a normal game. Like we all wanted and expected like a much bigger version of that game, and we didn't get it. Again, another piss poor game. Now, here's where things break up, thankfully, for Microsoft in their favor. Forza Horizon 4, great game, right? Amazing game. Those guys have delivered. Those guys single-handedly, Playground Games saved Xbox this generation, in terms of getting quality content out. Now we have Crackdown 3, which is probably because of this and probably because of some other reasons, just because it's Xbox and, people aren't going to be wowed by this formula anymore, right? This is a formula that was kind of new back in 2007. Here we are in 2019. Just a beefed up version of that. And then multiplayer, while it is new and fresh, again, you can't play with your friends. Doesn't that take some of the fun out of it? So they're going to get docked some points for that. And you're going to see probably a game in the 60s in the Metacritic now. I predicted 71. But I think that with this news and some of the other things that we're hearing, we might see something in the 60s, which, is disappointing. I can say that I'm disappointing. Xbox Live is going to Switch and Friends Code is coming to Xbox. I hope not. You know what I mean? Like Xbox Live is kind of coming to Switch, right? But it's not exactly the same thing as what we're getting in terms of Xbox fans. You know what I mean? Like they're getting the ability to crossplay with us thanks to XDKs. It's not exactly the same thing as Xbox Live being on Switch, because this has already been a thing with Minecraft, which supports your achievements, and also, oddly enough, just what Microsoft wants, supports monthly active users. So if you're a Minecraft user and you're playing Minecraft on a Switch or iOS or Android, you're counted into Xbox monthly active users, and that's exactly what Microsoft wants, right? They would love to have all those monthly active users on the system, So it is very, very disappointing. And as a fan, to say that I wasn't disappointed would just be a lie. And I try to keep it as real as possible with you guys. You've got this multiplayer is built on a gimmick of total destruction, right? It's going to lose support incredibly fast. If they don't get this fixed. I would say within maybe a week. If you don't get this fixed, patched within a week, I think that's going to be a problem. And why you tried to hide it, I don't know. That's the part that pisses me off more. Maybe we can get to over 100 likes if we can. TLR9 says we need Donnie D back. Kidding. Well, here's the thing, man. Donnie D was good at making money for Xbox, right? But he did like do a lot of stuff to screw over us and get us to the point where we have right now, right? It's we don't have a lot of just things that are new things, and that was a problem back then too, right? Like Donnie D would launch maybe 2 big exclusives a year, and then the rest of the time just rely on the third party stuff, which maybe that was the way to go. I don't know, just looking at how Xbox goes nowadays. um I don't know, it's not exactly a great thing. So I am very disappointed with this news, and have to say that almost shocked that for like, here's the thing, right? And even if you're like, oh crap, you're being over dramatic or whatever, fine, I get it, you're entitled to your opinion there, but is it right for Microsoft to not tell people about this? Huh? Like, that would be my thing. That's the part that pisses me off. Microsoft realistically kind of dropped the ball here. So, Doggy Dog says better be fixed by Saturday. I don't think that's going to happen. Rick Figueroa says Donnie D actually made games that were great. Hey, Rick, go check out the history of Donnie D, though, right? He canceled Halo MMO. He canceled the Kart Racer from Rare. He canceled the Perfect Dark reboot. He canceled Cameo 2. He canceled a lot of games, closed a lot of studios in favor of making Connect and Connect games. He was the one that forced Connect on the Xbox One. Implemented all the Connect stuff for that we got, and put Xbox in the hole that they're in. They have done a good job of digging out of that hole. The problem is that Donnie D believed, sort of like how Steve Ballmer did, where if you wanted to play a Microsoft or an Xbox game or Microsoft, you had to have a Microsoft platform. And now Satya Nadella, who is the new CEO of Microsoft, just thinks that services are the way to go, and wants to put Xbox on as many different things as possible to make as much money as possible. So it's very shady of Microsoft, you know what I mean, to actually do this. It's very so if you are joining me, I'll let you know, like, because we do have more people here. Please hit the like button, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Basically, I just decided to do an impromptu video. So, Crackdown 3 will not allow you to play with your friends in the multiplayer. It won't support parties. There's no parties in the competitive multiplayer. No, Wrecking Zone does not support parties and will not at launch. Parties are not supported. There's no info on when or if they might be implemented. The only way this got known, folks, right, was through the official Crackdown Discord. Who here is in the official Crackdown Discord? Not me. I don't even use Discord. So the masses out there, right, which this is like information that would have been helpful, and this little bit of information just kind of gets swept under the rug. And then Joseph Staten, who was the Microsoft creative director for Microsoft Studios or Xbox Studios, he said that the lack of friend support at launch, saying stay tuned for post-launch plans. So this game, which only has 3 maps, right, and also doesn't let you play with your friends, that to me is a recipe for not very good. And that's a real bummer, because I felt like they had done some strides to make this game sort of come back. And had this been up to par where it should have been after 5 years, you could see this baby getting an 80 Metacritic and actually being what was promised. But instead, what we got is Phil Spencer's baby, Phil Spencer's pride and joy, because he loves Crackdown so much, but he didn't love it enough to check up on it and make sure that it had a simple thing like a party invite system, right? Because that's not confusing. People are going to think that the game's broken. People are going to be like, how do I invite it? Like I said earlier, not everybody uses multiplayer or uses these sites. They don't all use YouTube. They don't all do that. So to see that they're going to play this game, they're going to want to jump in with their friends, and they're going to just like be confused by this, and that's not what Microsoft needs. They are the most confusing company in the world. Absolutely. This reminds me of those epic fails that they used to have with the Xbox One at launch, right? Like they just confused the hell out of people, and I don't understand it. How can you suck so bad at letting people know what's going on? I just do not get it, and it really, really, if this is cloud related, then just postpone that, or I don't know what to say, man. Maybe Mooch is right. Maybe they should have canceled the multiplayer. I'm not sure, but this is very, very disappointing. And as an Xbox fan, as a person who's a fan of Crackdown, it makes it feel completely tacked on. I feel like it's a slap in the face because they didn't tell anybody. So personally, that's what I'm pissed off about. Excuse me while I take a drink. Very pissed off that Microsoft continues to do these little shady things, right? And this is shady. There's no other way around it, right? This is completely shady. This is something that really, hey Yobi, what's up, man? Thanks for checking it out. And it's very shady. Why you can't play with your friends, I don't know. There's no party system, dude. There's no party system. We don't know why there's no party system. So that's the bummer. It could be for any reason. It could just be that it won't work, but then maybe they should have told us, right? Like that would have made a lot of sense. Let us know that that's going to be the problem right from the get-go. You know, it is very, very much a bummer. And I got to say that for me as an Xbox fan, I've lost a lot of sort of respect for this, because it does seem like 3 out of the 4 big launches exclusives that they put in there are going to be these like low scoring, pushed out half-assed games. And sure, Forza Horizon was good, but if you look at what Forza Horizon is, those games have always been good. So Game Pass wouldn't make a difference there. But the fact that these games aren't up to snuff is a problem, right? Like, I don't understand it. I do not understand it. I know they're doing a lot of right things, and I don't mean to harp on that, because I do like what they're doing in terms of getting new studios, making new games. But at the same time, how can you screw up so bad as Xbox, as Microsoft, with something like this, right? It just does not make any sense. 100% does not make sense. And the reason why it doesn't make sense is because you're Xbox, you're known for Xbox Live, right? And this is like something Nintendo wouldn't even do, like you can't even use friends code. There is no friends. They don't exist, and that's a bummer. I was looking forward to playing this, and we were going to stream it Friday night, me and Mooch and probably some other people, and now that's completely off the table. Like, this is sort of a bummer, and I know a lot of people are going to be upset about it. Some people maybe didn't even know about it, but everybody's going to make a video about it, and I kind of wanted to throw my hat in the ring and do a bit of a video as well and kind of rant, because I know a lot of people have that feeling that I never talk bad about Xbox or never call them out for stuff. So here I am. Remember the day, remember the name. I called out Microsoft. They've really dropped the ball on this, and I'm completely pissed off about it. They don't want 5 people teaming up and locking on the enemy one by one, keeping their competitive mode fair somehow. Ha ha. You know what? No, I don't know why it is. It is really one of those things that that pisses me off. So TLR9 says, why did Mike, Phil, and everyone think was going to happen with this news broke? I guarantee you that's why there's no advertising. They knew the game would fail. Well, you have to believe that they think that the game was going to fail. By the way, if you're just joining me, please hit that like button. Don't dislike it just because I'm going in on Crackdown. I'm not joining the party. You know what I mean? I'm not joining the party to hate. I am joining the party to keep it real. There's probably people that are going to hate for ridiculous reasons on this game, or were going to, right? This is a legit reason. Okay. People want to know, like I see right now, like the producer of M&C, Gadang, he says, why wasn't the news of not being able to play with friends at launch for Crackdown 3 come out sooner? Should have got this news out much sooner. How did this pass quality control? This is the problem, right? This is my biggest problem, right? This is what I've been talking about. This should have been something that we knew. It would have killed sales of this game even further, for sure. but we would have all known. Or they could have, if they knew that this was going to be the case, let us know that, hey, you're not going to be able to fix it. You're not going to be able to, get things straightened out. And I think things would have been much better off, right? The fact that now everybody feels lied to, it really pisses me off. And so, look, I figure this, right? Like, you guys are, most of the people that follow me are Xbox fans. I know there's going to be PlayStation fans that watch and stuff too. I'm an Xbox guy. If an Xbox guy can't complain a little bit when something legitimately is wrong with Xbox, then there's no hope for Xbox, right? We can't sit back as fans and go, hey, Xbox Live brought us great Xbox multiplayer. They're the best. They do multiplayer games right, okay? And then they screw up and give us a game where you can't play with your friends, you can't invite your friends. I just think that that's something that we deserve better as fans. And to see them sort of not give us better bums me out. I am very much bummed out about this. I'm upset about it. I think that Microsoft could have done a much better job. They very much could have come out and had us let us know earlier, right? Because instead, what happens, man, I get all excited. I plan on, talking to my friends and teaming up with my friends and stuff like that. And then this happens, it's very much disappointing to me personally. And I am disappointed and I'm pissed off, right? Like, so people want to know, oh, what pisses off Crapgamer as a gamer? This is what pisses off Crapgamer as a gamer, right? Because what do I tout? What do I say when people go, Crap, why do you like Xbox more than PlayStation? The first thing I'll probably say is Xbox Live. I play a lot of multiplayer games, right? I did my year in review for PlayStation. I had more hours on Sea of Thieves alone this last year than I did of all PlayStation 4 games the whole year, right? I had more hours on PUBG on Xbox than all the games on PS4. Multiple games I had like that, right? So I like multiplayer games. That's not to say I don't like single player games. I like those too. But I'm a multiplayer guy. But you got to play with your friends, right? Like, imagine Sea of Thieves doesn't let you play with your friends. Nobody's going to play that game because playing with friends is where it's at. Like, the whole idea of Xbox Live is playing with your friends. So, yeah, I'm pissed off. Yeah, I'm salty. Yeah, I'm out here speaking the truth. I'm spitting the truth. I know I got a microphone and, a decent voice, and people can listen to what I'm talking about. And I know not everybody's going to be happy that I'm talking about this because it seems like piling on. But the fact of the matter is, this is something that should be piled on because we deserve better. As Xbox fans, if we can't look at each other and go, you know what, we deserve better. Crap is a good guy. Crap is an Xbox guy, but he's right. We deserve better. They should have told us a long time ago that this was going to happen, that this was an issue, that we weren't going to be able to play with our friends. That's the main problem that I have. It's very anti-consumer. It almost feels like really shady, like scummy, right? Like a really, really scumbag move. You know what I mean? And I I just can't get over it. You know what I mean? Like, this is supposed to be a different Microsoft, right? That's another thing, right? They're like, our culture's different. This is the culture of Microsoft. We're all gamers here, and we all like kumbaya and unity candles. And as long as you're playing games, it doesn't matter to us. You can play with a mouse and keyboard and just totally obliterate somebody with a controller, and we're fine with that because we're all gamers, and gamers game, right? Games. We love our Switch, and we love the PS4. Lovity, love, right? So we get that, and basically they act like, oh, we're changed. We're not that same Microsoft we were before, but here they are doing this shady crap with one of their big first-party games. So I don't believe, because look, you're a captain of the ship, right? Phil Spencer's a captain of this ship, and for them to not know everything that's going on with this game, you just really have to understand that I don't believe that he didn't know that that's going on, right? This is definitely, they knew what was going on. They knew it. That's the thing that pisses me off, and they didn't tell us. That pisses me off, I would, if you were to ask me now, right? If you were to ask me now, so no, you can't play with your friends, Destic. You cannot play with your friends in the multiplayer, like the co-op, the 2-person co-op, right? Then then you can play the co-op. But with this, oh, TLR9, can you imagine how pissed I'd be if they did launch with lobbies only on PC? holy crap, man, I'd probably keel over or something. Because you know what? I'd be so pissed off about that. Oh my gosh. Like for me personally, I just think that Microsoft has, um, you know, they do a lot of things right, but at the end of the day, like this is one of those things that really just sort of pisses me off because I think we all just kind of expected so much more from Microsoft, and the fact that what they've done here has totally kind of screwed us all over. You know what I mean? You can play with strangers, Tricon 7 Eddie, you know what I mean? But you can't play with your friends, you know? So, yeah. Well, Killer K says sometimes Crap exposes Microsoft, but on the other side, a few seconds later, he protects Microsoft again. No one can understand you, Crap. Listen, I don't know how many ways I can tell you this. I like a lot of what Microsoft does, right? I like it. I like Xbox Live. The Xbox One X is the most beast-ass machine I've ever played in my life. That 4K life, right? I'm living it. That Xbox Elite controller, there's nothing like it. I love achievements. I love Gears of War. I've got a Gears of War tattoo on my arm, right? I'm gonna have a gear if I decide, when I get married, I'm gonna have some kind of Xbox related green and black wedding ring. There might be some kind of tie into video games into that. So I am an Xbox guy. I love Xbox. That doesn't mean that I can't call out BS from Microsoft when I see it. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. So I realize that they might have great games in the future. I'm sure Gears 5 is going to be great. I would ask Rod Ferguson if they're going to have a lobby system. Somebody needs to get on that horn to 343 Industries and find out that Halo is going to have a lobby system, right? Is the next Forza going to have a lobby system? Like, these are the things that we should know, right? Like, we should know right now. We shouldn't have to wait, a ton of time. We got to know. We've got to know. Are we going to have, a lobby system? Like, is that a thing? Like that's what I'm saying, man. We should have some sort of lobby system, uh, for this game. The fact that we don't really just says a lot about what's going on over there at Microsoft. That leadership, like the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing, it seems like, right? So that's the problem that I'm having, right? Like that's if you're asking me, hey, what's the big problems you're having with this? It's going to come in an update. I get it. It's going to come in an update. Woohoo, right? Like, I totally get that. So for me personally, that's great. But why are they launching it? Why are they hiding this from the fans, right? Why is this game going to launch in 4 days? And as someone who had this game pre-ordered, why am I just now hearing about this, right? So I would think that this is something that, should be fixed. Will it be fixed? I don't know. But they have a very short amount of time to actually go out there and fix it. So hopefully, Microsoft does go out there and fix this ASAP. But at the same time, how many people pre-ordered this game or got Game Pass to play this? And it's just going to be a total joke because you can't even really play with your friends. So hopefully they actually go out there and kind of get this fixed or whatever. You know what I mean? I just really do think that it's really something that, and I'm not one of those guys. Like, I know, like, I really, really debated on doing this video, right? And the reason being, if you guys are just joining me, Crackdown 3 will not let you play multiplayer with your friends, which I don't care how big of an Xbox guy you are. That is a bummer, right? You can't do a lobby. You can't invite your friends. You can't play together. That should be there. The game could still be good, but without that, the multiplayer is dead. I think the single player is going to do pretty good regardless. But the fact that, that multiplayer will not allow you to do that, and that Microsoft hid that from us, right? I think that is the problem that a lot of people are going to have. That's my problem. I do not like that little scummy kind of crap. I don't care who it is, right? It could be Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft, whoever it is. That's very scummy. Like, oh, let's just go ahead. It seems like they were trying to do like some shady backdoor business, and I'm not about that. It's very upsetting to me. So hopefully they get that out there and they get it fixed. But again, I feel like by the time they fix it, it's going to be way too late. And obviously Microsoft has sort of a lot of work to do in terms of getting the trust back in fans. Because for me personally, that's what I want. Like I do want that trust back, and I want to trust Microsoft. But do I? No, not really. Do I trust it? That they're always gonna, support their stuff? No. This is my problem, right? Like I did a video about it. Some people liked it and really reached out and said, you did a good job. It's called Microsoft Stopped Caring About Loyal Xbox One console gamers because we're not their focus, right? And what I said in that video is basically what I'm telling you now. We're not exactly the focus of them, and they're trying to do too much. And I feel like that's really affecting what we're getting as the console fans, right? We are getting lesser stuff. They're hiding stuff. They're kind of moving things around. They're just not really keeping it real. Dude, Larry, nobody can even see your comment because I don't know, because you're an idiot. I'm going to show this one. But he says, crap, you're a grown-ass dude or grown ad dude. Stop bitching over the small stuff. Dude, so you're telling me the ability to play a multiplayer game is small stuff, right? Like, please tell me how that's small stuff. Please tell me, dude. And I don't mean to like put you on blast, but you got to realize that that's not small stuff. Would it be small stuff if Halo launched with no lobby systems and you can't play with your friends, or Forza and you couldn't play with your friends, or Gears and you couldn't play with your friends? Imagine that, dude. So, or Call of Duty or Destiny. Imagine these big multiplayer games launching and you can't play with your friends, and you're telling me that's small stuff, right? I do not think that's a small thing. I think that is a huge issue. And not only is that a huge issue, but they hid it from us. Shouldn't that piss you off? I'm just saying, like, if that doesn't piss you off, then I don't really know what to say. Like for me personally, it's that level of trust, man. If you can't trust these companies, I don't know. Like I get that we're just corporations and things like that. And, and so people are going to feel a certain way about it. But for me personally, like how can you trust that company? Like I said, do we have to do it at this point in our lives, 2019? Do we have to sit there and ask these developers that are making our favorite games, is this game going to have a lobby for our friends? Really? Like, do we really have to ask that of these developers right now? That's the problem I'm having. And I know some people aren't gonna like that, and I get it. It comes across as whining or whatever, but you know what? This is a YouTube channel, and I feel like I can do my own thing. It's like I'm getting my opinion out there, and you guys all have your opinion too, and you're welcome to share it in the comments and stuff like that. I think that's fine. If you have a different opinion and you're like, hey, I'm perfectly fine with I'm perfectly fine with not being able to play with my friends in that multiplayer in this game that was being developed for 5+ years. And also when you look at the multiplayer when it was originally shown off, it looked much different, much bigger, much grander scope. We were also promised as early as last year 4-person co-op for the campaign, which we did not get. So it is a little bit of a dismomer or whatever, you know what I mean? I'm very, very much upset about it. Just as a fan, guys, look, it's not like I'm not a fan of the series, man. I have Crackdown 1 and 2. I like those games. Nintendo Switch guy says, crap, you should be more concerned about Microsoft and the cloud gaming thing. That's going to be their main focus. They're killing Xbox on purpose, which again, I pointed out a video I did where I mentioned that, right? I said eventually having all these other devices to play Xbox games will mean less people will buy an Xbox, and that's probably what they're trying to do. So, yeah, if you didn't know, yeah, it's like the multiplayer, go look at it from 2015. The multiplayer looked much bigger. I get that was pre-alpha or whatever. So maybe to me that's a littler thing, but the arenas are much smaller than what were originally shown off. And so I get that. I'm not disappointed. Like to me, a little thing is the lock-on stuff. Like people bitching about that. It's an arcade game. I get that. The fact of the matter is you should be able to play with your friends. I complained about the original Star Wars Battlefront. There's no voice chat in that. Like that game came out in 2015 and there was no voice chat. Like I scratch my head on that. Like, yeah, like there's party chat nowadays and stuff like that. But for a game to come out and not have a not to have voice chat or have a party system in this day and age, just really kind of blows my mind. I don't understand it. So yeah, I am a bit bummed out about it, and I do feel like Microsoft completely dropped the ball. I do feel like they have a small window to fix it. So they should, if they can, be already working on that, because gamers are going to want to be able to play with their friends and should be able to play with their friends. And I want to be able to play with my friends and invite my friends. Like I said, I was going to stream this game on Friday night. Me and Mooch were going to stream it and play some multiplayer. I think possibly with Xbot and some other people. We thought we were going to be able to team up, do some 5v5, you know, uh, and have fun. You know what I mean? And now we're not able to do that. So I am very pissed off about that. And I know that a lot of people are going to, like I said, do videos about it. I'm very well aware how YouTube works. I'm also well aware that being negative is way better for business than being positive. I wanted to be positive about the game, and maybe it will. I'm going to review the game. Of course, knowing that you can't team up with your friends, that's a big negative for that for the game. You know what I mean? Like for me personally, that's going to be something that I will probably be a big talking point on. Hopefully, Microsoft will be able to get that fixed in a timely manner. But until then, it's still something that is very much upsetting, and for me personally, very much bummed out about that, because I was looking forward to playing it, and I'm sure a lot of people were looking forward to seeing us stream it. And now that's probably not going to be really much of a thing because of the situation that's going on here with this. So yeah, very upset about it. Very pissed off about the misdirection and things like that. I seen people asking Phil like, "Hey, why did you guys keep us from hearing this?" You know what I mean? Like I don't get it. Stefan says, "Stop supporting Xbox. Microsoft don't care about gamers." Here's the bottom line, dude. None of these companies really care. They just want our money. I know that's hard to believe. But yeah, I knew this a long time ago. Exactly. Jean Pierre says, being negative to get a positive response from Microsoft. That's what it's all about. You've got to get Microsoft to really get it out there. You know what I mean? That's the problem. Sir X-Man. So if you didn't know, Sir X-Man, Crackdown launches in 4 days. We just now found out that there's no way to play with your friends in that game, right? You can't invite your friends to a party. There's no party system. There's no lobby system. They say there might be one, right? But at the end of the day, that multiplayer will be completely DOA. So that's not a good thing. That's definitely not a good thing. We've got to do better. We've got to expect better from these companies. The fact that the fact that this is 2019 and Xbox Live and this is what's going on. Yeah, that's a really bad thing. DJ Arcade say, oh wait, no, hold on. The Starboy says, I care more about the story. Hey, Starboy, dude, that's cool, man. You're gonna have probably a pretty good campaign to play there. That's gonna be fine. So, I think you're gonna be fine if you're just interested in the campaign. It looks like it's gonna be a 15-hour campaign or so, which it looks good. Terry Crews is the man. I think that looks awesome. For me personally, I'm a multiplayer guy a lot, so I was really looking forward to kind of diving into this multiplayer and playing with my friends this Friday. Right? We were planning on it, and the fact that nobody mentioned this, and it's still 4 days before launch, guys, that's the problem. Phil didn't say it. There's been nobody that said it. They've done multiple inside Xboxes about this now, and nobody goes, hey, well, we here at Xbox, we're known for our multiplayer, and we're not going to be able to give you guys multiplayer. So, we're going to give you multiplayer, but you're not going to be able to play with your friends. This, it pisses me off, and I know I can't be the only one that's pissed off about it. So, especially since I've been looking forward to this game for, since it was announced. I've been kind of beating the drum for this game. So I really do think that Microsoft deserves a little bit of the heat on this one, right? Like, I'm not one of those guys that just randomly goes after the negative side and things like that. Especially with Xbox, as you guys know, I'm an Xbox fan, just like you guys, and or for the most part. But this has really kind of just bummed me out. Oh, I just noticed somebody mentioned I hit 60,000 subscribers. That's crazy, huh? Like, I'll get back to Crackdown here in just a second, but I just wanted to take a second out here to thank you guys while I'm live, and somebody pointed that out. I started this channel years ago, just for fun. I was doing some reviews and stuff like that. I was an Xbox fan. I hated how I felt being an Xbox fan when I made a video about how I was getting an Xbox One instead of a PS4 because I could only get one at that time. And, and the rest is kind of history. I've managed to make some really good friends and, been through a lot on this kind of thing. But at the end of the day, Xbox is what kind of drew me. I wanted to be more of a positive voice, but in being positive for Xbox, you can't just ignore all the, like, some of the stupider negatives and things like that. And this is definitely a negative, in my opinion. A first party game that they're trying to have be as big as Halo or Gears, and they totally dropped the ball with it. So for me personally, yeah, I'm going to do a complaint video about that and talk about how I'm pissed off about it, because not only is it unacceptable in 2019 to not be able to play with your friends in a lobby on a first party AAA exclusive, but for them to sort of mislead people, that's really bad too. So, hence the video, folks. Hence the video. Now, I know some people, like I said, won't be happy. I would really love if if Microsoft would really just kind of respond a little bit. I know that Joseph Staten did respond, but at the same time, the response wasn't exactly great, in my opinion. So we really do have to get Microsoft to do better for us in the future. So oh yeah, no problem, man. Half are haters. Hey man, you know what? Like, that's fine, dude. Like, haters, whether they're fans, you have to remember, when I did this, I remember thinking if I got 1,000 subscribers, I'd be like over the moon. And so ever since that part, and then I readjusted, I was like, well, if I get 5,000, man, that would be like, how do you top that? And then I hit 10,000 and I was like, whoa, how can you top that? So for me, it's one of those things where just out of nowhere, you know what I mean? Just it's been really cool and just a cool, fun ride for me. And I'm very appreciative of that and stuff like that. So very cool to see that so many people have actually been able to support and stuff like that. And, there's not really much to do. I'm not really much on the whole, I don't really advertise that stuff. Like, oh my God, 45,000 subs, 52,484 subs. Like, that's not really me. It's not because I'm not appreciative. It's just because to me, it's like, I do this, I entertain people. Hopefully people entertain and they like it. It's like people that do, and I've ran into people like this, right? And I've recently unfollowed people on Twitter that did this. Maybe you guys know some people like this in your life, but people that do charity work, right? And then they go out and announce to everybody the charity work that they're doing, right? Like, oh, I just did this for this person, and then I gave this person money, and then I helped this, and I pay for this cause, and I do this. Like, those are like fake people, because if you really are into charity work, the charity work is rewarding of itself. And you don't have to brag about it and brag about winning awards for charity and all that kind of stuff. So for me personally, I like doing this stuff. It's fun for me. I don't have to brag about it to people. I'm very appreciative. See, that's the difference, right? Like, I'm not going to make a big post on Twitter or social media about 60,000. Great. Awesome. And I didn't do it at 50 or 4. You know what I mean? I am appreciative of the fans, of the people that subscribe, that enjoy the content, or maybe even just watch but hate the content. I don't know why you'd watch if you hate, but I'm not going to brag. I'm no better than anybody else. I was just this guy with a voice that was talking about video games, and some luck involved in that, I'm sure, as well. But hopefully you guys have been entertained. But again, just getting on this Crackdown stuff, I do not understand what Microsoft was thinking here. I would hope that Phil or Mikey Barra or somebody comes out. You notice how they're conspicuously quiet when something like this happens, right? Like Mikey Barra would be talking about, oh, I'm playing the Division 2. I wish I could play it on PC, but it's hacked. You know, oh, that's great. Hey, Apex Legends, it's great, but on PC it's busted. What's going on? But by the way, play PC and Xbox crossplay because it's great. You can't really lose. There's no hackers on our version. Blah blah blah. So for me personally, they're very quick to talk about all this other stuff, right? And then when it comes to something that their consumers actually have a problem with, they're mysteriously quiet, like very quiet. And I don't understand it. I do not understand how you can be so kind of in your face at one point, and then at the other point, you're just like, hey, screw it. Let's not talk about it. Let's hope it just goes away. We wondered why they weren't advertising this game. I know now why they weren't advertising the game. Like we knew they kind of thought, hey, well, maybe it, maybe it's one of those things that it'll get better over time. It's not a game as a service, folks. This is Crackdown. It's not a game as a service. It's not. It's not like, okay, maybe it'll get better over time, but it shouldn't have to. Let's just call it what it is. Them launching a broken game, unfinished game in the Game Pass because they had no other options, to be honest with you. So how can you and I like Game Pass. I think it's great. I think it's their future, but it's going to really rub a lot of people the wrong way that 3 out of the 4 big exclusives that they put in there are going to be all games that probably scored in the 60s in Metacritic and looked at as less than great games. And that's going to give Sony more ammo to be able to go and say, hey, we do these great, amazing single player games. And, not only do we do these great, amazing single player games, but they score high. And that's why we can't put them in a service like Game Pass, right? So every time Microsoft does a flub like this, they screwed themselves over. That's what you can expect. Like Sony can just go, look at these guys. They're no wonder they have this kind of service. Like if I'm Sony, I'm going, you know what? We don't have to offer a service like that. Our games are worth $60 a piece. Look at what Microsoft's doing. Their games that they're putting in Game Pass, they're like these little broken, unfinished games that they're just shoving out the door. Now, I'm not saying I believe that 100%. I'm just saying if I'm Sony, that's what I'm saying to people. I'm saying, hey, look what Microsoft's doing. They're the ones that are kind of screwing up. They're the ones that are doing that. So for me personally, I think that's exactly what they're doing. Let's see. What do we got? How many bad Microsoft exclusives for you to give up supporting Xbox? Dude, here's the thing. Like most other people, I play third-party stuff mostly. So Microsoft does have Xbox Live, which is superior, and that Elite controller and the achievements. And so there's not going to be a point where I just give up Xbox unless it's a point where they're only streaming and that's my only option for playing. I think at that point, then yeah, if Sony's not doing that, Nintendo's not doing that, and only Microsoft is, then yeah. But trust me, dude, I know all too well what Microsoft's plan for the future is. They want to be streaming. They want to be on PlayStation. They want to be on Nintendo. They want to be on your phone. They want to be on your refrigerator, on your toilet, on your smartwatch, on your smart wallet, whatever. They want to be on everything. So, yeah, I get it. So basically, it's kind of what it is. But there's no quote unquote abandoning because like I said, Microsoft will be fine for the next 10 or 12 years with Xbox. We're going to get another Xbox, very powerful. They've got these new studios. Sony's not going to allow the exclusive Game Pass on PlayStation. So we've got that. I just think that there's little things like this where it's kind of like that little scumbag move that Microsoft is doing. Yeah. PlayStation greatness. No, dude, here's the thing. I'm not in with Microsoft's PR people, right? Like what happens is the people that got Xbox One X's from Microsoft usually do a lot of reviews for them or things like that, big time influencers. I'm not a big time influencer. So, I was never upset about that. You know what I mean? That never bothered me. Even when me and Phil got into it, that was not, we talked it out, we hashed it out. So no, I wouldn't say Microsoft don't like crap. Like I don't think they like it when people kind of call them out like for this stuff. But what can you do? And like Phil says, hey, we like the feedback and stuff like that. I don't think they particularly like this feedback because it makes them look really, really bad, you know. But at the same time, I do think that what we're gonna see in the future is that Microsoft will have to pay attention to stuff like this. We should not. Wow, we just heard that Apex game hit 25 million players this morning. That's incredible. Like I don't know if you guys are following that, but that's a big story. So, Smell Your Mama says you fanboys need to grow up. Well, I mean, like here's the thing. Fanboy is a term for a lot of different things, right? So I'm a Baltimore Ravens fanboy. I'm a Chevy fanboy. What exactly does that mean? Like there's always going to be people that cheer for one thing over the other. And so, yeah, 25 million for Apex. Holy crap. Yeah. Vincent Pella just announced that. So that's crazy. Are Microsoft going the way of Bethesda? Well, I don't think they have enough studios or IPs that people would buy to do that, but I wouldn't rule that out 20 years from now. And hey, G-Man, he says you can play with friends on Apex. Look at that. Free to play game. Crap, repeat question. Microsoft knows that Xbox is based on community. Are they trying to make community break up and not letting your friends join a lobby in this game? Exactly. Dude, Xbox Live. Play with your friends, right? They say that all the time. Xbox Live, play together, play with your friends. It's great. Well, how can you play with your friends if you can't lobby up and party up? Like that's the problem. And the fact that they kept that hidden from everybody, I'm pissed off about it. So I don't know. What matters most to you when buying a games console? The games at launch, I would say. Is Microsoft going to buy Nintendo? No. Xbox Live isn't on Nintendo. Basically, there's the XDKs developers can put in certain things. Like last year, Minecraft got achievements on the Switch. It's basically just a way for Microsoft to count Nintendo users as their monthly active users on Xbox Live if they have that kind of support. So yeah, like that's basically how that works. That's that's how it works. I don't know exactly what they're going to do in the future. I don't particularly care about that. I don't want to see I don't want to see Microsoft put Xbox on everything. And I've said that in a video that I did the other day. Like leave Xbox Live, kind of leave that alone for people on Xbox. Like I feel like they try to do too much too fast. And I feel like the whole streaming thing, and I've mentioned this before, the whole streaming thing is I think too soon for that to be talking about that. And I think Microsoft is going to find that out there a little bit too soon with that. And so it probably isn't going to really be able to be this big thing that they really want, and that's really unfortunate. I do think that Microsoft has some good ideas, but they do tend to have that situation where they announce things a little bit too soon. So, a little bit unfortunate. But at the same time, I do think that they are doing a lot right. But again, I'm a little bit disappointed with this news in particular. I don't understand why they would do, this. You have a Xbox exclusive game. You threw a bunch of money at it, and now it's not going to be doing any kind of multiplayer where you can actually play with your friends. So completely bummed out by that. It's one of those things where I'll never understand it. I don't get it. I still don't get it. If you guys are just joining me, hit that like button. I'm going to answer some questions in the chat. Let's see. House says it is quite savage. I feel that Microsoft charged their console community while Xbox Live is free on PC. But then again, it was the Xbox community that allowed it. Well, it wasn't so bad when PC weren't getting all the games that we were. But the fact that they get everything that we get now, yeah, I mean, now it makes it probably worse. But what else can you do, honestly? Mad Max says, do you think Phil is being forced to go through with this streaming path because of the higher ups? I think that what happened was Xbox was close to being done. I do believe that they maybe were going to shut it down or sell it off or something. And Phil pitched this idea to save it with it being used in the cloud and streaming and all this kind of stuff. Satya Nadella is somebody who I do not exactly trust. If you look at what he's done, I mean, he shut down the phone stuff. He shut down Groove Music. Anything that doesn't produce, boy, they cut ties with it super fast. So you have to think that they're going to want Xbox on as many things as possible with all this investment in the studios and cloud and all this kind of stuff. That's what worries me. Like, you've got to understand, like, I don't see how, like, if I could talk to Phil, I'd ask him tough questions. Like, you do understand that exclusive content pushes your sales, right? They push your users. Like, I understand that you guys want monthly active users and stuff like that. But do you understand having exclusive content also does that, right? Hopefully he would understand that. I don't know. Like, to me, I get what they're trying to do. But when you look at mobile stuff, Ubisoft and EA just posted losses due to bad mobile stuff, right? And those are people that are letting you download the games completely. Now, when it comes to Xbox, they just want people to stream, and they think that that's going to be like, for me, I don't find that how that's going to work, to be honest with you. I don't know. I'm not really sure, but it is disheartening to say, for me personally. Is Microsoft trying to create a monopoly? They're not allowed to, according to the laws here in the States. They were kind of in trouble for that before. AJ Felton, what's up, AJ? Haven't seen you in a while. Just wish Microsoft stick with traditional console value. Dude, I'm with you. Put out a console. Put out Halo. They should have kept Halo, Gears, and Forza as exclusives on the console. Those are console sellers, folks. In my opinion, Play Anywhere is probably one of the biggest failures they've ever done. The only people that ever use it or put games on it are indie developers and Microsoft, and there's no cross play there, right? Meaning there's people that buy their game on Xbox, play it on Xbox, they don't switch and play it on PC, and people that buy it on PC, play it on PC, they don't switch and play it on there. I can also play Gears Pop. Yeah, I'm dying to play that. Not to me, that's oversaturating your game, one of your biggest franchises, right? Like Gears Pop and Gears this, and you know what I mean? Like, that was a big problem with Halo, right? So Microsoft had Halo, Halo Anniversary, Halo Master Chief, Halo this. So here's a little bit of breaking news. Crackdown just tweeted out on Twitter, agents, we know you're eager to play Wrecking Zone with friends, and we'll be adding Xbox Live party functionality in an upcoming title update along with other post-launch content. Thank you for your patience, and please stay tuned. So after everybody complains today, right, they're going to be adding it. So they've officially announced it's coming to a title update with other post-launch content. They don't know exactly when. So, hey, we win, right? Good guys win. We're going to get that in a title update. I don't know exactly when, but it is going to come. So hopefully they can do that. Let's see. Maybe they're trying to almost create a monopoly by extending as much influence as possible. It could be. Like, they have a monopoly on they're trying to get a monopoly on cloud stuff, right? They don't look at Sony as competition. So if you look at what they're doing, they look at Google and Amazon as big competition. And so, that's what they're looking at as in terms of competition. I have no idea exactly what the future holds, but I do know that for the time being, like, we all live in the now. We don't know what tomorrow brings. So right now, I'm relatively happy with Xbox. I just would like to see them be less shady when it comes to stuff like this. You know what I mean? Like, why didn't we know about this earlier? You know, I just don't understand it. You know what I mean? I don't understand it. So, but to reiterate, hey, we are getting in a title update, so that's cool. Should have been there at launch. Glad to see that. I'm gonna tweet that out to Crackdown right now. Glad to see a feature so basic it was on the original Xbox Live in 2002. is coming post launch in 2019 to a game that was in development for 5 years. So, yeah, highly disappointed that I can't start a lobby with friends at launch. For shame. So that's my tweet, and I sent that out to them. Um, yeah, I don't really know when this update could be anywhere. To be honest with you, it could be a month later. I don't know. Like, it seems like now they get it. Oh, we should have got it right. Like like that's the part that kind of frustrates me, right? Like we should have like they're just now getting that people are upset about this, right? Oh, no, we should have maybe considered possibly, you know, having that in there. Like that to me just doesn't make sense to why they wouldn't do that right from the get go. Completely, I don't get it. But hey, they did confirm it's going to be there, so we do have that, and that's not nothing. So I already got some likes on that too. So yeah, nice to see that as well. So it is a feature that was so basic that indies and stuff like that have that now. So yeah, very very disappointed in that. But I do think that better to have that at some point than never. The problem is Anthem's coming out. All these other games are coming out. Um, I people are going to abandon this multiplayer super fast. They really lost an opportunity. I don't understand why they would do this. It bums me out. So Crackdown 3 exactly. So let's see. Let's see what do we got here. I'm going to answer a few more questions. What do you honestly think the Crackdown 3 metascore will be? Crap. I think now it's going to be 65. I was in the 70s. I thought 71, but now I think probably 65. This game, if it would have been delayed again, they would have canceled it. So I understand why they didn't delay it. But for me personally, it's a bummer that this has happened. So yeah, very very upset about it. Probably 65 or so, to be honest with you. It's going to sit there nicely with the other 60s. Uh, with Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2, which I love Sea of Thieves, and it's such a much better game now. But the fact of the matter that they're launching these games when they're half-assed, that's a bummer for me. That should be a bummer for you guys too. I don't understand it. It's not going to be I don't think it's going to be 50 or the low 50s like that, guys. The multiplayer looks good. The single player looks good. 15 hours. I think it's going to be fine. The multiplayer really, really sort of do it. I don't know if you're saying I'm Van Damage. I'm not. I was saying it could be an 80. My original prediction I thought was like a 78 or something. I lowered it when people weren't, when people were having a negative reaction to the multiplayer. And now with this news, I'm saying like a 65. It just keeps getting lower and lower. So, kind of is what it is. You can't really, it just sort of really is what it is. I refuse to, it just boggles my mind again. Once again, just the whole kind of the shadiness, and the fact that this game is going to be, we don't even get an answer as to when it's coming. So yes, exactly. Steve Ballmer's bald spot. They've basically been releasing early access titles at full release, with the exception of Forza Horizon 4, which was amazing. So yeah. Let's see. Crap, it might be a launch update. People in the alpha probably didn't get it at launch of the alpha and beta. Well, they say it's going to be a title update, which usually is your first big update after the game launches. So it should come within the first week, I'm going to guess, or first couple weeks. I don't know, but I think that people are going to want to play with their friends, right? I mean, that's a pretty basic thing in my opinion. I don't know. If you guys wouldn't mind, like this video, share it out, all this kind of stuff. It's unfortunate, and what's really unfortunate is so many people are gonna kind of jump in on this, right? They're gonna they're gonna jump on this and kind of make it you know, is they're gonna make it really, really tear into this game. And that's unfortunate. But on this particular note, it's 100% deserved because this should have been something that was there. How do you do that? Like with a game, release it to where it's not going to have a lobby and then you have to have a title update. Yeah, that's a bummer, complete bummer. But yeah, sucks. Microsoft did a great job for advertising Metro for PS4. I don't know about that. Nobody's going to buy Metro. I have Days Gone pre-ordered. I pre-ordered the CE. What's up, Free Jack? Please hit the like button. What about the single player campaign? Can we play with friends? Yes, you can. Well, one friend. They lowered the multiplayer co-op from 4-player to 2-player, so you can play with one other person. So, you know, yeah. Let's see. Crackdown 3 will be the last Crackdown. Oh, I could see that being the last Crackdown one. I could definitely see that being the last one. I don't see this one pushing big numbers or anything. Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to buy a Metro, man. Looking at the sales of the other 2 Metro games, I just don't see it being a big thing, to be honest with you. I mean, I could be wrong, but why would Metro 3 out of the gates be this big success? I don't really know. Crap and mooch, crap and mooch. Exactly, dude. Exactly. That's how the song should be. Let's see. I'm going to answer a couple more. Yeah, dude, I shoot from the hip, man. I have no problems. Like I said, I debated doing this video because so many people were already going to be talking trash about this game, and I didn't want to just be one of the crowd, but I felt like it deserved to be critiqued from a fan, and I'm a fan of the series. So, let's see. Metro, dude, Metro is going to end up in if Tomb Raider ended up in Game Pass in 4 months. How long before Metro ends up in Game Pass? You know, I just I think it's going to be in there pretty quick. Let's see. I'm going to answer a couple more questions, so get them in, hit the like button, share it out, all that kind of stuff. Let's see, what do we got here? I get the sense you've grown up in the last few. Well, I wouldn't say the last few weeks. I mean, I've been doing this for a while. I mean, if you haven't checked out the channel in the last couple of years, then you probably would think that I'm still the guy that makes these, like, when I was trying to be the Howard Stern of this, right? Like, things change, times change. You can't really get away with that kind of stuff anymore. Nobody can take a joke anymore. So it's very, like, I just tried to just get the gaming stuff out there. That's it. That's all I talk about. So, let's see. Tomb Raider got in Game Pass because sales were down 70%. Exactly. And sales were never up for Metro. So, I don't think it's going to be a very big hit, to be honest with you. That's just me. I'm not hoping it fails or anything, but I think it's going to do fine. Let's see. Hating on Metro, but Crackdown literally doesn't have. What are you talking about? I've been hating on Crackdown for an hour. I've been saying it sucks that they screwed us over. I already have a PS4, dude. So, Metro will make an exodus to Game Pass. See you in Game Pass. Got any advice for new podcasters trying to get started on YouTube? I would say just stick to it. Be careful with who you trust, and don't get involved in nonsensical drama, crumb side stuff. Just stick to really quality opinions and things like that, and you'll do all right. What do you think of cloud destruction? Do you think Microsoft changed the style of destruction because Crackdown style, or just to be able to create a great gameplay? I don't know. I was always more excited about the possibilities of that destruction on other platforms for other games. So like a Halo or Gears, or imagine a Forza game with that kind of destruction. To me, that was always a little bit more exciting than Crackdown. So, hey, man, I'm not hating on Metro. I just don't think it's going to be a huge sales success. That's all I'm saying. I think it'll be a fine game. I just don't think it's going to be huge in terms of sales. So, I mean, that's just my opinion, guys. Doesn't mean that it's going to be fact. That's just my opinion, fellas. So, and ladies, if there's any ladies watching. With that, please, hey, future games don't always have to be cloud powered, right? No, I don't think so. But I think some multiplayer games should. I agree, TLR9. They should just launch Metro and Game Pass. Anthem, I don't know. Anthem looks good, but I'm not sure if it's my type of game. So I gotta take off, guys. I do appreciate the support. Please like, share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Really appreciate you guys, man. Thanks again for the 60,000 subscribers. Fantastic to see that. God bless you guys. Stay cool. Game on. They're gonna fix the Crackdown stuff. If you missed that bit of news, they confirmed it with the title update. They're gonna add lobbies. Not sure why it needs a title update for that, but it does. Rack them up. Have a great one. Crapgamer out.